Hello everybody, thank you for being here. Appreciate you all as always. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Here we are, rolling through February. So we're gonna throw up the intention for this week. If you haven't seen the intention already, it's always released early so that way you can take a peek at it. Last few weeks we have been having not only the intention released on Saturday, but as well as the weekly astrological overview video, and that is doing really well. So thank you to all of you that have been watching that video, sharing it, liking it, interacting with it in any way possible. So I really appreciate having a little bit broader outlet for speaking about the things about the planets that I want to. So I'm really enjoying having both the Sunday night session as well as the weekly video. So hopefully you are all enjoying both as well. So here's the intention, whether it's the first time you've heard it or not. We'll sit with this for just a moment here. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Now, I always say when we sit with the intention at first, just kind of see what comes up, see what feelings it might evoke, what thoughts, how does it make you feel inside, does it make you excited, does it make you a little anxious. This one made me really excited right off the bat, so I like this one. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Hey Melissa. Hey, happy Sunday fun day. Yeah, I like Sundays myself. And you're in Florida on vacation. So Melissa is also from Michigan and she's in warm, sunny Florida. Hopefully it's nice and warm and you're having really good weather down there. It's cold and have a little bit of snow up here, as typical for this time of year. So sitting with that intention for just a moment here and seeing what comes up. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Now, the talking and the descriptions and the going into the aspects is going to shorten up a little bit over time. It might take me a little while because I'm used to just saying all of the things here, but I really encourage you to utilize the video that comes out on Saturday to get a wide perspective and a more broad overview than what is going to be presented here. Focusing this more on gearing towards the meditation is the goal, and like I said, it might take me a little while, but it's going to start to shift where I'm not going to talk so in depth about the aspects here. Like I said, it might take me a little while, but that's where we're going to go. So there are a couple things to talk about this week going into the intention and into our meditation and as well as into our week. So I'm going to first start by putting up the chart of right now. We've been doing this a lot lately and it seems like you are all enjoying the chart visualizations. What I want to point out here is something that we have mentioned before, but I just want to point it out again. I want to point out the conjunction between Neptune and the North Node at 29 degrees of the conjunction is at between 28-29 degrees of Pisces, but looking at this conjunction at the very end of Pisces here is with Neptune at 28 degrees and the North Node at 29 degrees. In this chart, you can find that in the 7th house. So if you look around the wheel in the center where the numbers are, find the number 7. That is going to be the 7th house. And I want to talk about this conjunction just a little bit. So this conjunction is something that we're going to have until Neptune moves into the sign of Aries at the very end of March. So this is something that we're going to have through the rest of February and through pretty much all of March. The North Node coming into a conjunction with Neptune. Now when you have these two planets coming into a conjunction together, there is a strong pull towards Neptune, and there is an enhancement and an enlargement of Neptune in the sign of Pisces. It is Neptune's last hurrah after all of these years that has been spent in the sign of Pisces. I think, like 14 years. I think 2011 is when Neptune first entered the sign of Pisces. So Neptune and Pisces in the water sign is very emotionally connected, very ethereal, very can be very spiritually in tune. It can be in tune to maybe not necessarily the spiritual world and guidance and our connection to the universe, to God, whatever that, however that shakes out for you. But it could be also, if that's not necessarily your thing, it can be that spiritual connection, that deep connectedness can be your connection to yourself. So it can be your own gut instincts, your own intuition, just those feelings that come where we just kind of know. Those are Neptune in the sign of Pisces. Neptune in Pisces can be very encouraging of displaying emotions and bringing all of the different emotions together, collecting all of the different things, all of the thoughts, opinions, emotions, and bringing them all together. So there is this blending of bringing many things together, and sometimes that can blur some lines. On another level, it can leave us very deeply inspired. It can have us in this otherworldly place where there is guidance and we can trust our instinct, and there is this pull towards this intuitive, emotional, watery connection that we find in the sign of Pisces, this Jupiterian, feminine, watery connection that we have in the sign of Pisces. So for the next month and a half, there is this pull towards wanting to feel deeply connected with something. So whether that is wherever Pisces is within your own house or within your own chart, the house that it falls in within your own chart, or that's just feeling the need to lean into something bigger, something more, something a little bit grander than yourself. There's this pull towards the future and wanting to aspire towards something a little bit higher. Again, we can want to aspire towards something that connects us to something else, so we can connect to something higher, we can connect to ourselves, we can connect to our own emotions. There's lots of different things that we can connect to, and depending on our own individuality and our own path, kind of denotes whether it's something positive or less positive that we are connecting to. So there is this back and forth, or this possibility of being deeply connected or kind of feeling deeply disconnected. The lines can be really, really clear or really, really blurred here in the next little while, but there is this inspirational pull towards wanting to connect, wanting to release, and wanting to move forward into something in somewhat of an intimate space. So there is this pull towards wanting to move towards something, some sort of deep emotional, watery connection here on some level. Again, that can connect us to higher energies, connect us to just feeling like we know that we're on the right path, connecting to our gut instinct, trusting our gut instinct, trusting our intuition. It can be leaning into connecting to something that maybe pulls us out of the physical world, and sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes that's a little bit more difficult thing. So that's something that we have going on for the next while here, and that's just something to keep in mind going through the next following weeks here, that this Neptune energy is going to be amplified as it is coming into the conjunction with the North Node. And like I said, it feels like one big last hurrah for Neptune in the sign of Pisces before it moves into the sign of Aries, end of March, early April. So we have that aspect that we have going on kind of long term. The sun moves into the sign of Pisces this week. So while we're talking about that Piscean energy, the sun is going to move into that feminine water sign of Jupiter. So it's going to move into that romantic, receptive, dreamy, otherworldly place that connects to everything, and then therefore sometimes nothing. This is an idea that I've been playing with all at one time. Pisces has this way of which it connects to everything so deeply that I'm starting to wonder, if there's situations and scenarios where it's kind of like, if you're connecting to so many different things, are you really able to put your full and your all into the one thing? That's not the way Pisces energy always plays out, so it's not that like Pisces is not able to dedicate itself, but it can be very, there can be a lot of things in the sphere going on when Pisces energy is around, so it can just feel like it can feel overwhelming. It can feel like we are connecting to all of the different things, and then we're, maybe not, then we're overwhelmed because maybe we're not putting all of our energy into one thing. We're trying to put all of our energy into lots of different things all at one time. So there is this boundary list that comes with Pisces. So we have this extra illumination on the house where Pisces is within our chart. So we're going to see some themes showing up there with whatever action and however that is playing out within our own lives. With the sun moving into the sign of Pisces, as well as this conjunction between the North Node and Neptune. The big aspect that we have going on this week, we really only have one, is that Mercury is going to square Jupiter. Let's put that up so you can see that here really quick. Mercury is going to square Jupiter on Thursday this week. So I'm going to move this forward from Sunday into Thursday, February 20th. If we back it up just a couple hours here, you will see, there we go. Okay, so we have Mercury at 11 degrees of Pisces, again, Piscean energy, squaring Jupiter at 11 degrees of Gemini. So that square is taking place across the 11th and 8th house in this chart. So you will find Mercury in the 8th house at 11 degrees of Pisces, and you'll find Jupiter at 11 degrees of Gemini in the 11th house. And you'll see a square between these two planets. Now, the square between these two planets is a big portion of where our intention comes from this week, as well as just all of this general Piscean energy that we have. So, first thing that we notice here with this square is that Mercury is in Jupiter's sign of Pisces, and Jupiter is in Mercury's sign of Gemini. So, these two planets are in each other's signs. Take that off there. These two planets are in each other's signs, so there's a mutual reception. However, while they're both in each other's signs, they are also both in detriment. So they're both in places, put it back up a minute here. They're both in the signs that are opposite of the signs that they rule. So opposite their domicile. So Jupiter rules the sign of Sagittarius, which is opposite of Gemini. So if you look at where Jupiter is in the sign of Gemini and go directly across the chart to the 5th house, you'll find Sagittarius. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, so the opposite sign, which is Gemini, is considered to be its detriment, or a place of exile, a place where it doesn't do so well, a place that is like far from home, we'll say it that way. Same thing with Mercury. Mercury rules the sign of Virgo, which is in the 2nd house, and Mercury is in the 2nd house in this chart, and Mercury is in the sign of Pisces, which is opposite that in the 8th house. So there's this way that these two planets are in places where they are a little bit uncomfortable as far as how they like to normally function and what they typically carry out on their own natural significations before they're blended with the signs that they are in, but they're able to help each other out. So there's this interesting relationship between the square between Mercury and Jupiter, where they are challenging each other through the square. Squares are of the nature of Mars. They are scratchy, they are challenging, they make us uncomfortable enough to where we want to move. They challenge us to grow someplace, some way. They give us a way to realize that something might not quite be working, or might not quite be unifying or cohesive, and then they give us a solution, or they give us a way to grow from that. So these two planets being able to give each other a helping hand when each one is in a difficult place is interesting to note with the aspect that we have going on. So they're both in. It's kind of like the nature of the square a little bit if you think about it. So the nature of the square is that we are in a difficult place, but we are able to grow from there. Both of these planets are in difficult places, but they are interacting with the other planet that has tools, resources, and information, and is able to help because they know that environment and they know what that planet is trying to do within that sign, or the environment that it's in. So they're able to help each other. So when you have a square between Mercury and Gemini, we have difficulties between communications, between ideas and ideals, but we're able to come together somehow. So we have communication differences. We have maybe not seeing quite eye to eye, but then being able to reconcile those differences and come up with some sort of agreement or the ability to solve problems or see another perspective that is a little bit different. It can be bringing lots of different ideas together and trying to unify them somehow. Gemini is an air sign and Pisces is a water sign, so it can be trying to find a way to unify and reconcile the emotional mind with the rational mind. So the things that we connect deeply to, or the feelings that we have and the emotions that we have and the connections we have to other people, as well as the ideas that we have and the thoughts and the communications and the way that we express ourselves, trying to unify those things. I've talked about this before about how, it can be difficult to unify the rational mind and the emotional mind. That's speaking about these two planets on their own. So then you have Mercury, which is the rational mind within itself, as far as a planet, but it's in this emotional sign where there is lots of thoughts and there's lots of feelings going on, and you have that boundarylessness. So it could be that there's lots of thoughts and feelings that are coming and going. The environment kind of keeps changing a little bit. Mercury is a planet that is changeable and shifty as it is. And then you have Jupiter in the sign of Gemini, which is asking big questions and wanting to get lots of different answers and lots of different information and bringing that in. This week, where we have our intention, where I inquire, there is a reply. So it gives the feeling that we're asking a question. We are looking for some sort of information, and the reply is a communication back to us somehow, some sort of connection. Pisces, the water sign, connects us to not only to our emotions, but connects us to other people, connects us to where we've come from. So it connects us to our ancestry. And then Jupiter in the sign of Gemini connects us to that emotional, mental realm. So it's as if Mercury, Mercury being in the superior position in this aspect, it's like Mercury is asking a question of Jupiter. And Jupiter is asking questions of Mercury at the same time here within this aspect. So if they're asking questions of each other, but they are in mutual reception, they are able to reply in a way that the other planet can understand and can find useful and effective from where it's at. So when we are looking for an answer, the answers and the different information and maybe the different perspective, as well as a broader perspective. Jupiter, right? Jupiter, it broadens things and brings all different things in. Jupiter and Gemini can be a broad perspective of wanting to bring in lots of little different information, but broad perspective of wanting to bring in lots of different little things and wanting to understand all of them. Maybe not unify them in the way that Sagittarius wants to unify them, but wanting to pick apart the little teeny details, and it can be picking apart the little details of our beliefs and our morals and of our ethics, and how we understand all of that and how it all works together. So with the energy of the square that we have going on this week, where there's a question, there's something that we don't quite understand, there's something that we are not quite getting, we're not quite reconciling it, we know we need more information, we need a little bit of help, we need somebody else's perspective or input. There is this connection here between a water sign and an air sign to be able to find that connection, to intuitively bring that message in here. And then with the sun moving into the sign of Pisces just ahead of this aspect, there's that little extra deep connection to the universe in the sign of Pisces on the positive aspect. And then we have the conjunction of the North Node and Neptune as well. So there's this way in which these two planets are able to ask the big questions of the universe, ask these big questions of our path and where we're going, and get some sort of reply. Notice it doesn't say that there is an answer or I will receive the answer. I will receive a reply. So it's maybe, getting some sort of specific answer, but maybe it's just some sort of sign or symbol that you're on the right path. Maybe it's you know, some sort of message that comes across, however messages come across to you. Maybe it's talking to another individual and it's actually communicating our thoughts and our emotions or our ideas to somebody else. So maybe if, you know, if it's like that the question is within a relationship type standpoint, then it's we are able to ask a question of somebody else and they are able to we're able to connect with them on a deep, intimate, emotional level of some kind, and they're able to give us a thoughtful reply on some level. That can be a romantic relationship, that can be a business partner relationship, that can be a relationship with your children or friends or whoever. Relationships are very broad. So there's this like call and answer energy that I feel going on this week here. And that's what I'm kind of leaning into here with the meditation. So where I inquire, there is a reply. Like I said, this can be inquiring with grand questions of the universe. This can be inquiring with another individual. This can be inquiring within yourself. Today within the meditation, I just want to bring in this energy of, in this mindful energy of asking a question, sitting with it, and waiting for an answer. Whatever that means to you, whatever that shakes out to you. That can be looking for spiritual guidance, that can be looking for quiet space within yourself and just, you know, quieting and silencing the mind and kind of reconciling the two a little bit and just seeing what comes up. It can be prepping yourself for something that you have coming up this week and you're just getting yourself into this mindset of kind of like ask and you shall receive. You know, the help and the assistance is there. It doesn't mean that things are going to just necessarily be handed to us, that we have a square aspect this week. So then, you know, you have to be brave enough to ask. You have to be brave enough to inquire in order to get the reply. But you have to be willing to, you know, take that reply and do whatever needs to be done, like take the next steps too. We can't just inquire, get a reply, and then like, oh, that's the answer, and then you stop there. No, once you get either the answer or the next step, next clue, symbol that or encouragement or whatever it is, then you still have to move forward and do the thing that you have coming up. So I like this energy as kind of challenging us to see something different, to see a different perspective, to bring in more information, to bring in some sort of higher understanding, and just kind of being able to sit with things to bring in different emotions and different thought processes, and being able to bring them in and sit with them in a way that will bring some sort of productivity from them. That feels really, really broad when I'm saying it that way, but it is broad because it can play out for many of us differently in different ways. It comes down to connection this week. It comes down to being able to take places where we feel like we don't quite understand or things aren't quite clear, and being able to put in the work and the effort to be able to put that to use and have it be, have it bring out some sort of productivity or unification. No, that's not quite the word that I want to use. Just bringing out something positive or something productive from it. I don't know why I don't quite like the word productive, but we're going to go with it for now because I'm blanking on anything else to say. So, you know, Mercury is asking questions of Jupiter, and Jupiter is asking questions of Mercury. What kind of questions are they asking of each other? They can be asking existential or mundane questions. Gemini likes to look at little teeny details. That is Mercury's sign, and Mercury likes to look at little teeny things and break them apart and also understand small little things. Jupiter likes to unify and likes to broaden and likes to unify things. It likes to bring things together. Jupiter is very passionate about belief and being strong in its convictions. So we have Pisces, which is the Jupiter sign that wants to unify things and wants to bring all the things together. So there's this ability to bring together small little details and broad pictures and bring all of the things in at one time. Those two things can be contrasting, so there can be some, there can be a little bit of uncomfortableness or anxiety or stress or overwhelmness that comes from that, but there can also be the ability to see which way we need to go. So I like this energy, and I think it's really, really cool for that. Then what came up this week was the Six of Cups, which I thought was pretty fitting, because the six, to me, it's about unifying what has come before it. So the cards that come before the six, it's about initiating, it's about differentiating and choosing between two paths, it's about teamwork and celebrating things initiating, it's about hard work and strife. Once we get to the five, we get to the six, things start to come together. The cards above that are more about perfecting and the path and karma and cycles. So it's a little bit like mundane versus the higher expression, higher energy a little bit within the tarot from my perspective. So the six is this unifying of all of the hard work and the things that have went into it and everything that has come before it. It's a bridge between what has come before and the unifying and the higher stages and the completions and the perfections and the understandings that come beyond the six. So the six is a unification and integration and a bringing together of the water element of the cups. So this is partially where it shows me that there is the ability to have positive things come out of the productivity this week. There's unification, there's integration. There might be different things, there might have even been difficult things that we have to kind of look at, but there's a way to unify these things together through this aspect of Mercury and Jupiter, where we can understand the broader concept of the small details, as well as being able to dial in on how we connect to the greater, deeper energies at the same time. So then when we can broaden those small little details, we inquire, we ask questions, we look for more information, more understanding. And then when you have that watery connection, that connection to water, which is the life source. It's where we've come from, it's where we're going. It is our connection to ourselves, to source, and to others, connecting us to our lineage forward and backwards. So we can see that there's a reply when we inquire, when we broaden the details and the information, when we ask, I need more information, please help me, please guide me, please show me the way to go. Then there's a reply that connects us to something, or whatever that reply is, or wherever that reply came from. So this week we are going to tune in to seeing what the reply is to whatever it is the questions are that we are asking right now. And I am super excited about this week here. So we'll leave that intention up for one more moment for everybody to see it one more time. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Good energy for getting a reply this week. Good energy for feeling like we have questions to ask. Questions mean that we are looking to grow and we are looking to do things a little bit better or do things a little bit different or bring in a little bit different perspective or different information. It's that we are knowing that there is someplace, there is another step, there is more that can come from whatever the thing is or wherever we are. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Where I inquire, there is a reply. All right, so we're going to move towards our meditation. I'm going to bring the intention down, and you'll see our intentional candle as always. I have a hodgepodge on the table of different things that I've been working with. There's a lot of fluoride on here right now, I'm noticing, and selenite. And fluoride is really good for connecting to higher energies, connecting to source and to divine energy, connecting to your own higher self and your own intuition as well. So I feel like these are really fitting for this week. White candle as always. Purity, purity and cleansing. It's a clean slate for you to start over this week and bringing in this fresh new energy, and as well as being able to change that candle into whatever color it is that you may want to change it into. So as I light the intentional candle, I'm going to recite the intentional phrase. I encourage you to go ahead and do so with me in whatever capacity you are able to. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Where I inquire, there is a reply. I'm going to light the intentional candle. The flame ignites and the flame begins to grow. As the flame grows, so does our intention. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Also within this intention is the affirming statement that when we ask a question or we ask for help or more information, what we ask is going to come to us. So it's that ask and you shall receive energy and information. And there's something about just knowing that you're going to get a reply that kind of like puts it, I don't know if it puts it more on your radar or what, but there's something about that just that ushers in that information even a little bit more. So it's the affirming statement that I'm going to get a reply. It's not, oh, will I get a reply? Maybe I'll get a reply. Like, will I hear something back? No, you are going to. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Where I inquire, there is a reply. So, as always, we are going to start by finding a nice comfortable seated position or laying down or sitting or standing or whatever works best for you. I just encourage you to come into a nice comfortable position or however you are able to. Take a deep breath or so if you need to. If you have any little wiggles or fidgets that you need to get out, go ahead and do so. And come to a nice comfortable position. And if you are ready to do so, I encourage you to go ahead and close your eyes. If you're not ready to do so, soften your gaze, relax your eyes. Maybe find something to look towards or past, but not staring intently at it. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Once you've come to your comfortable position, as always, I like to start by taking a moment to check in with the breath. And when we check in with the breath, this is starting by acknowledging and just noting the energy that you've come here with. So just acknowledging and seeing the quality of the breath that you have come to this meditation with. So as we turn our attention towards the breath, I encourage you to try not to change the breath, try not to judge the breath. Just notice and acknowledge the quality of your breath at this moment. It can be difficult to not be tempted to change or alter the breath or improve the breath. Here we sit with the quality of the breath that we came here with, noting that it is perfect in its own moment, exactly the way it's supposed to be in that moment. As well as acknowledging that everything that has come before this meditation, every moment, every experience, every thought, and every emotion has led up to the breath that you are carrying with you at this moment. Which makes your breath, no matter where on the spectrum of needing improvement to perfect you find the breath currently, it makes the breath valid wherever it is at this moment. So sitting with ourselves, acknowledging the breath, and honoring the path that has brought us to here. Once we've taken a moment to sit with our breath and to acknowledge where we are, we begin to deepen the breath. Here, I encourage you to have your only goal be to have each inhale be slightly deeper than the one that came before it, and for each exhale to be slightly longer and release slightly more air than the one that came before that. Continue the cycle of breath in and out, breathing in deeply and slowly, bringing in slightly more air than the inhale that came before that. And on the exhale, letting go of slightly more air than the one that came before it. Following the rhythm of the breath in and out, connecting deeply with the breath, your body, and your own energy. Here, where we inquire, the reply is the breath. Continuing that process of breathing in and out. Connecting with your own energy. Today's meditation, we're looking at a call and answer type scenario. Here we call on our breath and it answers in the form of an inhale and an exhale. Or you could see it as we call upon our own energy. We inquire within our own body. And the reply is an inhale and an exhale. First inquiry of the night is with our breath. What is the response you get when you inquire into the inhale and the exhale? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you see? If the answer is that you take a breath in, oxygen enters your lungs, the atmosphere around you. Perfect. If it's something more profound or extraordinary, also perfect. There is no condition on the reply at this moment. Where I inquire, there is a reply. That phrase does not denote any specific type of reply, just that there will be one. Answers, signs, symbols, messages, information. All a possibility. As you continue breathing in and out, you may start to notice the changes that happen within your body on the inhale as well as on the exhale. You may start to notice that as you breathe in, your abdomen distends, allowing your diaphragm to move lower, making room for those inflated lungs. You may notice the feeling as your abdomen swells, as your lungs fill to capacity. You might notice some positioning within your body, tenseness or blockages. You may notice the comfort that you sit in and the peace that you are holding. On the exhale, you may start to notice how your diaphragm moves back to a neutral position, as well as your abdomen, your navel moving back towards your spine to a neutral position. You may start to notice any tension that you hold within your body as you release the rest of the air out of your lungs. The inquiry is the exhale. The reply is what you notice about your body at the bottom of the exhale. As we take this inquiry and reply scenario a little bit deeper, notice the exchange of air as you breathe in and as you breathe out. So on the inhale, notice that you take in oxygen, air, and energy from the environment around you. You are taking a small amount of that universe that is surrounding you and bringing it into your being. The inquiry is once again the inhale. And the reply from the universe is the air that enters your lungs. Similarly, on the exhale, as you release the air, you notice and you realize that air, oxygen, and energy from within your being flows out into the ethers around you, taking a small piece of you and releasing it into the universe. The inquiry is the exhale. The reply is from the universe and the ethers around you, accepting a small part of you into the larger collective energy. And each time you breathe in and breathe out, each cycle of respirations that happens throughout the entire day, throughout the entire 24-hour process, there is an inquiry and there is a reply. As you take your next deep breath in, focus on that energy coming into your being from the ethers around you. A small part of the universe entering your own being, your own vessel. Top of the inhale, holding the breath for just a moment, and we exhale. Feel, notice, and see that energy coming from within your being and expelling into the universe around you. Next deep breath in, you continue the process of breathing in and out on your own, focusing on the exchange, focusing on the inquiry and the reply between yourself and the universe around you. As you continue this conversation between you and the universe, between you and Creator, between you and your higher self. You notice the line of communication. You notice what you say to the universe and how the universe responds, or what you give to the universe and how the universe responds. Just as you notice within this conversation what the universe asks of you and how you respond, what the universe gives to you and how you reply, an inquiry and a reply. This connection can bring emotional, intuitive connectedness, as well as mental clarity. There is a question that you have been looking for a reply. There is a question that maybe you haven't quite asked because you're not quite sure of the answer. You really don't want to hear the answer. Maybe you're unsure what the answer will be. It's understandable. Where I inquire, there is a reply. Ask and you shall receive. Just as you have a conversation with the universal energies around you, through the respiration cycle, through the breathing in and breathing out, we are able to ask questions and receive a reply within our lives and our connections with others, with our higher connection within our life to ourselves, higher self, as well as the universal energies that are around us. God, Creator, Source, Universe. When we ask a question, the answers come in a variety, multitude of ways, multitude of answers. Signs, symbols, direct messages, gifts. What is your inquiry this week? What do you want to understand? When you consider that question, what is the emotional awareness that you have surrounding that? Do you recognize the emotions that it evokes within you? Or does it feel distant? What are the details to understand? Are there smaller parts to look into? Smaller parts that allow us to see the whole. Is there differences between the ideas and the ideals that are held? Is the inquiry to reconcile what we want and what needs to be done? How can we integrate the emotional and the rational minds? Perhaps it's that we inquire and we listen. We listen intuitively and with an emotional connection. That emotional connection allows you to care, allows you to really want to understand. What questions are you asking in the area where Pisces is within your own chart and your own lives? What is your inquiry? What is your question? Where are you looking for a reply? Ask, listen, understand. That is the process. This week, as Mercury in the watery, feminine sign of Pisces, emotionally connected, receptive, intuitively geared, empathetic listener, coming into the square. The challenge to move, the challenge to grow, the challenge to do something different with Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. How can we move with emotional stamina and mental clarity? How can we feel that deep intuitive connection without losing our footing in the details, in the broader picture? Where I inquire this week, there will be a reply. What is your inquiry that you're going to bring into this week? Sit with that for just a moment. Sitting with your inquiry, sitting with your question, sitting with what it is that you were asking. Taking it into your hands, into your own hands and your own ability. And then as you bring your hands closer towards your chest, you bring that inquiry into your heart space. Carrying it with you, knowing that a reply will come your way. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Appreciate you showing up as always, not only for myself, for this meditation, for the others, but also for yourself. There is the ability to get past communicative differences. There is the ability to problem solve and see different perspectives. There is possibility to be able to feel into different emotions and broaden our perspective through that emotional connection and through that intuitive connection this week. It may, if we, like I said, if we want to inquire, we want to ask questions, then that means we know we are at a place where we need to grow. So that square is not just, the cohesive, like everything is just hunky-dory and like we're just flowing and working together. It's that we know that there's work that needs to be done, and we know that there's questions that we need to be asked, and there's answers to be had, but we know that those answers will be there. So where I inquire, there is a reply, and I just want you to know that you have that ability to asking you shall receive. That's what I keep hearing when I keep thinking about this meditation and what we have coming forward this week. There is this deep intuitive connection with Neptune coming into conjunction with the North Node here, where there's a pull to be inspired. So when we are inspired, we are moving forward. We want to delve into whatever the things that are inspiring us, right? So maybe we need to ask questions. Maybe there's things we need to find out about the process. What do I need to inquire about? Do I need to understand more details? Is there things that I need to learn? Is there education? Is there conversations that I need to have with others? Is there some sort of reconciliation between the rational and the emotional mind? Do I need to talk out my feelings and emotions with somebody in some sort of relationship? There's lots of different ways that this could go, but where you inquire, there will be a reply, and that is half of the battle, knowing that there will be a response, and then you can move on to the next step with that response. So cool energy coming in, cool productive energy for moving forward and being a little bit progressive and being able to move forward in a understanding type way, with like a greater understanding. Communicative differences for sure, but that allows us to move forward. There's, again, if we check out the video that came out yesterday, you will find a little bit more broad and well-rounded description of the aspect as well as the other things going on this week. So make sure you check that out. Check back next week for our intention for next Sunday. I will see you all here next Sunday. Next weekend you can look for the intention as well as the weekly overview video that is released to YouTube, and then I've been sharing it to Facebook and Instagram as well. You can find all things on meditativeastrology.com, and it will be Pisces seasons by the next time I see you. So happy birthday to all of you Pisces sun, except for also happy birthday to our Aquarius here, Melissa, who has a birthday tomorrow before the sun moves into the sign of Pisces. So happy birthday week, and I'm glad that you are in 80-degree sunshine weather. Hey Nikita, didn't see you here in the comments. Thank you for being here. And I will look forward to seeing you all next week. Remember, like, follow, subscribe, all of that helps, so I appreciate all of the interactions. Share this meditation as well as the weekly overview video with anybody that you think would benefit from it. So sharing, getting it out there to more people so more people can see it, and I will see you all next week. I hope everybody has a wonderful week of inquiring and getting a reply, and just knowing that you are supported in that way to where you will get an answer back. You will get some sort of reply. There's not a whole lot like worse feeling than like asking a question and then getting ignored. Just think about like when you ask somebody something and then you don't hear back from them. It's like, well, there goes that. So just the knowing that there's a reply, and knowing that there's this help between Jupiter and Mercury this week. Cool things, and cool energy for a solar return also too. Just throwing that out there, Melissa. So, yep. Happy Sunday, happy week, and happy February. I will see you all next week. As always, reach out at any time for whatever. So happy Sunday and have a good week. I will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.